welcome back to another episode of Justlivin Designs podcast. My name is Shannon, Justlivin Designs. Today it's episode number 43. It is Thursday, June 19th, about 10:30 in the morning. I had other stuff to get done this morning because it's going to get hot. It's going to be up in the 90s today, so I wanted to get the dogs out earlier and, get everything outside watered and, all the stuff you got to get done. This is my podcast that I talk about all the things that I'm making, mostly knitting, sometimes crochet. I am an independent knitwear designer, and if I have a new pattern that I'll release, I'll talk about that. But I do knit a lot of other people's patterns, and this is a great way for me to showcase those and all the other local makers or bag makers, charm makers, and yarn dyers, and other pattern designers. So that's what I like to do here. So we start off with finished objects, go to whips, acquisitions, and then I'll end with reading, watching, and life stuff. Okay, so I do have and everything I talk about I'll try to link down below. But I do have two finished objects. I finished the two pairs of socks that I started. Did I have them started last time? I think I did. I had both of these started last time. So I finished both. The first pair I'm going to talk about is my Pride socks. Let me get down. Got too many things. I have a lot of whips, but I want to get my tags out because I'm trying to be better about keeping tags. So this one is Polka Dot Sheep in their Tenderfoot base, which is an 80/20 superwash merino nylon. This is the Yarnery. It's a yarn shop in St. Paul, Minnesota. It's their special colorway, and it is called One Yarn. So I finished the pair. There's the second sock. This was knit with my trusty top-down sock pattern, which is top-down with a heel flap and gusset that has a garter edge heel flap. And I did it all in one color, which is kind of nice sometimes because then you only have two ends to weave in when you're done with your sock. But yeah, I did a longer cuff than I usually do. I did a 2x2 cuff, and I did it about 2.5 inches. I think it was like 25 rounds or so. A lot longer than I usually do. I usually do anywhere from like 16 to 20 rounds for my cuffs, and I decided to do a bit longer for this one. But yeah, so those are finished. Love them. And they're for me. I actually have a couple, both these socks are for me this time. And then my next pair that I finished was my birthday socks. So this was Kirby Werby, and in her colorway 45 stripes, so I must be nuts because I had my 45th birthday this last week. So now I'm 45. And I decided, I think where the repeat, so from the toe all the way up to that green stripe right there is one full repeat. So that's 45 different stripes, not counting the heel right here. But if you just go from here to here, and then it started over, and then it ended with just a little blip of gray. So I pulled out the rest of that gray and started the heel on this like blue color, so kind of right here. And then so I got a full repeat plus that much for a pair of socks on each of these. So I have two, and they're matching. I didn't block these yet. I just finished them a couple days ago. But yeah, I'm very happy. They're very bright. They're very if you know Kirby Werby yarn, she has a lot of bright fun colors usually. And this was a special one for me just because I was turning 45. I did a 2x1 cuff on this one because these I actually knit whenever it's thinner yarn like this. This is more of like a 75, 25, the skinnier yarn. I usually use a size 0 instead of a size 1, and I knit 60 stitches because I get a nice tight knits, and it makes it a more comfortable sock to wear, but it still fits me really well. Like this one over here was the bigger yarn. You can see how much bigger those stitches are, I guess, compared to here. This is size 1, but the yarn is a bit thicker, so I use 56 stitches. US 1, 2.25. This is 0, US 0, 2 millimeter. But yeah, so I did 60 stitches, so I did a 2x1 cuff at the top, and then a bound off, yep. And then just straight stockinette with a cut in after that heel. There's a tutorial on this channel on how to do that if you've never done it. But yeah, this is not a pattern. It's just my sock recipe and then cutting in a heel. Yeah, very happy with these. So 2 pairs of socks, both for me. And last time I talked about my birthday sale. I ran it for 2 weeks. By the time this video comes out, which will be Friday, the sale will be over. So I hope you guys got some patterns that you were looking at for 20% off. All right, now we're going to talk about some whips. First, I'm going to talk about my 2 scarves that I started last time, just to show you progress. I've been working on a lot of different whips this last 2 weeks, so some things got a lot more progress than others, but at the same time, I've just kind of been jumping around like crazy. I don't know. I just can't focus, so that's normal for me on for knitting. But this was the just a tube scarf that I cast on with Knit Picks Aloft, which is their mohair in black. And last time you guys saw it, I was there. So, you know, and it's got a fair amount of stitches. I can't remember how many I cast on. And I'm knitting this on US 8s, which is what, a 5 millimeter needle. And just around and around and around. Well, not almost. It's deceiving how much is left in these, because it's like, oh, I'm almost done. It's probably like still 20 grams, or not 20, but like 10 grams left or something. Because these are 25 gram balls. So it's always deceiving. But I have 5 if I need 5. I'm assuming 4, but maybe 5. So that's the first scarf. The next one is another tube scarf. Oh, and this one was in a bag by no, not Bags by Austin Grady, Beautiful Sister. It's one of their, I love this bag. It's a moon bag. And then this is another tube scarf that I am using a bunch of minis from McMullen Fiber Co. And last time you guys saw it, it was here. And so I'm all the way up here. So what I am doing with this is I'm assuming 25 minis. We'll see how long it ends up getting, and I can make adjustments as I go. But I just have a bunch of minis from this dyer, and their yarn, their mini skeins are like at least 25 grams, and it's a bit of a heavier sock weight yarn. So I'm using a US, what, 5? Do I have? Or 4, maybe. Might be a 4. I think I'm using a 4, which is what, a 3.25? I think so. I can't remember, but I'll link the project page so you guys can see. And this one, I just cast on so many stitches. It's quite wide. I'm just making a tube scarf. I'm letting it roll on this end. And I did organize my minis to look nice next to each other, but plus I wanted more of a tonal or solid next to a variegated or speckled. So it kind of broke up. And I'm on my 12th color right now. And what I'm doing is not quite half of the mini skein. It's about 10 grams actually per section that I'm using, because I'm going to go all the way up the scarf and then come back down the other way so the 2 ends will match. So I'm using each mini twice. I talked about it more last time, but yeah, I made a fair amount of progress on this one. It's just knitting in the round, using up minis. And this one is in an old French Supply Co. bag that they're not in business anymore. All right, next I will show you an old whip that you guys haven't seen for a while because I finally decided what to do with it. It is the t-shirt that I am self-drafting. This one I am using Empathy by Elizabeth Levold. I'm using 4 different colors. And originally I was going to start with the stripes at the top, but then I was like, I wanted my stripes to be even, and I only had 3 balls of the striping yarn. And so to make that easier, I decided to put the stripes at the body instead of at the top. So I used 3 balls almost exactly. I just have a tiny little nugget left of this top color. Is this the front? Yeah, it is. And last time I showed you was a few episodes ago. I was down here and I wasn't sure if I wanted to like break. I was like contemplating breaking my yarn, doing my sleeves, pulling from the inside of the ball to do my sleeves, because I wanted to make sure I had enough yarn for the sleeves and then finish out the body. So I ended up just deciding to break the yarn, did both sleeves, and I just added like about 6 rows, I think, after my sleeve divide, and then I did a 1x1 rib for the same amount that I did for my collar, and I did a tubular Italian sewn tubular bind off thing on the cuffs. So the sleeves are done, and now I started my first color in the body, and I'm just gonna color block it, so I'm not gonna like, they're gonna be big stripes, wide stripes. So I have this color first, and then I'm gonna do this lighter color, and then I'm gonna end with the yellow. So we'll see how long it ends up getting. I'm gonna use most of this ball, count my rows so I can have even rows, but this last one will be in ribbing as well, so I hopefully won't run out. Yeah, I'm happy. It's boring. It's just knitting round and round. That's a lot of my projects right now are kind of boring knits, but that's what I am enjoying. Once I finish this, I did do a swatch for a cabled vest that I would like to start, so I have it for the fall, and it's in really dark yarn. It's a nightshade, so I want to finish this one because I only really want to have one sweater or garment on the needles at a time, so I actually get them made, because whenever I have multiple sweaters on the needles, I never get one made. So it's like I just need to focus on one, have all my other like easier projects, but then my sweater or whatever, and then get the next one going. So that's my plan. All right, and then I did cast on a new pair of socks. Oh, and this bag was from my LYS, and it's from Brooklyn Haberdashery. They don't, my LYS yarn bar doesn't carry these, I don't think anymore, but years ago they did. But you can buy them online. I'll try to link the shop, or at least buy from them online. I don't know if they have those bags anymore. This bag I'll talk about in acquisitions, but my new sock is from my Freckled Whimsy Nature's Palette club that I am involved in, and this one was May's colorway, which was Wildlife Sanctuary. And it's just a 6-stripe repeat. I was getting it with the mini. This one is still in the Glee base. Now she doesn't have that base anymore. It's a 90 Targhee 10% nylon. But I'm making these for my husband. Here's the front. I decided since it's Wildlife Sanctuary, I put on my Bigfoot Sasquatch charm from Charmed and Dangerous. This one's an old one. Nowadays, he looks a little bit different, but I've had him for many, many years. But yeah, this is just a nice ribbed, my husband prefers ribbed socks, so it's a 1x1 cuff, 3x1 leg. I am ready for the heel, I think. I'm doing my GHFSS sock pattern, which is good heel for self-striping yarn. It is a heel flap and gusset that has a square turn, so there's not as many stitches on the needles. The heel turn is deeper itself, like, so the heel pocket area is deeper, but there's not as many stitches on the needles to decrease, so your stripes don't get as messed up with that type of a heel flap. And he prefers heel flap. All right, last whip. 5 whips, guys. Like I said, I've been kind of going all nuts. This is my Coziest Memory blanket by Kemper Ray. Let's see. All right, so last time I was right there. So I was finishing up my 3rd row. So I finished those 2 squares. That's a recent pair of socks that I made this year. And then I started my 4th row. This was a sock design this year, or last year. And that's where I've ended. So I added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 squares since last time. There are 14 in a row across. It is about as wide as my wingspan. It's hard to show because it keeps flopping. Once I'm done with this row, I will weave in the ends at the corners. I have woven in the first 2 rows ends, but I don't snip them until after I wash the blanket. So they're woven in, it's just not snipped yet. And this is the wrong side. I pick up through the purl bumps. I do have a video tutorial on how I do this on my channel, and it makes a nice smooth pickup line. You do see, like, it almost looks like changing color in on the purl side, or, you know, on the wrong side. That's exactly what it looks like, but there's no ridge at all. And I like how that feels, one, so if it's up against your body, if you're wearing it, you know, using it straight up as a lap blanket or something, you don't feel those ridges. And then 2, it just, I think it looks nicer. So if you flip it over, it's not so bad. My personal aesthetics. But yeah. And I am making this one to pattern. The only one so far that I'm making to pattern of this design. Using US 2s, 2.75 needles, and just leftover sock yarn. It takes about 5 grams per square, 4 to 5 grams. So yeah, that is all my whips. Like I said, I've been kind of going all over the place. I also am working on a new design. I have a design out to test knitters right now. That one's with self-striping yarn, so that's fun. And my new design is a Halloween knit, Halloween themed knit. So that's exciting. You have to get stuff done early so you can get it tested and then be able to release it on time. But yeah, so I've been working on that as well. What else? All right, acquisitions. The only acquisition I have is my new bag. I'm not exactly sure what company this is, but my LYS yarn bar has different styles from this. These are hand printed bags. This is just a canvas bag. This is a little crocheting squirrel making little nut sacks for her babies to gather all their nuts and store away. I love it. 1, I love brown. 2, I love squirrels, and except for when they chew up our house. But yeah, so this was cute. Last time I was in there, I couldn't stop looking at it, so I decided to buy it. That's all my acquisitions. I have ordered some stuff online recently, but it hasn't arrived yet, so I'll show you that when it comes. All right, reading, watching, life stuff. Reading, it's the same books that I've been reading. I have made a little bit of progress on everything, but just haven't gotten anything finished. So that is The Martian by Andy Weir. If you've seen the movie, I'm to the point where he is traveling his long journey across Mars. It is a science fiction book. Like I said, there is a movie. The book is more complex than the movie and more harrowing, I'd say, than the movie. I have kind of stalled out on The Stone Sky because I just haven't been reading it during the day because The Martian's my nighttime book. And I had to return The Stone Sky to my library's Libby app. That's by N.K. Jemisin. It's the third book in the series. I have a physical copy that I've been reading every once in a while, but I just haven't, I think I've only read 1 or 2 chapters this last 2 weeks. And then I am listening to the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. That's on my Libby app. I've had to renew it a couple times, but I've gotten it renewed right away. So that one's interesting. I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. But it took a little bit of a turn recently. All these books I'm more than halfway done with. It's just I'm just not reading as much. Watching, I started watching the 4th season of Welcome to Wrexham. It is the Ryan Reynolds, Rob, I can never pronounce his last name. They bought a soccer team in Wales many years ago, and they're doing a documentary about it. Yeah, so I'm watching, the 4th season came out this year. It's from last year's season. And I've been watching that, and I think I'm up to date on the episodes. My husband and I started watching the 4th season of Only Murders in the Building because we hadn't watched that season yet. I think we've watched, 3 episodes so far? And then my husband and I watched Mickey 17 because I knew my son might like it, but I wasn't 100% sure if it would be 8. He's 13. I was like, eh. But he loves sci-fi. He loves it. If you like, it's a sci-fi movie. If you like sci-fi, if you like quirky sci-fi, you'll like it. I watched I think it's Netflix series 0 Day. It has what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. Robert De Niro. Has Robert De Niro in it. It's I enjoyed it. It's good. And then the last couple of nights we've been watching Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 with our daughter. So that was fun. It's been a long time since I watched Kill Bill, and I love Quentin Tarantino. You just got to be okay with the quirky, like, artistic styling that he has, and it's really enjoyable to watch. But yeah, that's basically all the watching. Life stuff. Life has been lifing. The kids, this is their first week off of school. So their last day of school was last Friday. Then Saturday, well, actually, I'll go back. So their last day was last Friday. Thursday night, before their last day, we went to a Mustangs game, which is our local, like, minor league team here in town. My husband's company provided tickets and some, and money for everybody to get food and stuff. And so we were there in the section with all his coworkers. It's not a very big office here locally. So it wasn't a ton of us, but that was fun. We always like going to Mustangs games anyways. And they end up winning. They don't go into extra innings anymore. They do like a home run derby shootout thing. And they won in the derby. So that was good. So yeah, after that, after the baseball game, that was Thursday last week. Then Friday was last day of school. Kids both had early outs. My daughter had finals on both Thursday and Friday. And then, so they both were early out. And then we had to get my son ready for his music camp that we dropped him off last week on Saturday. And it's the longest he's ever been away from home. They do this. The camp is not here in town. It's about an hour away. And we, there's kids, I don't remember how many kids there were, over 200 kids. They do both band and orchestra. He plays viola, so he's in the orchestra part. They have smaller ensemble groups plus the bigger orchestra groups. It ranges in ages from going into 8th grade through high school. And so he's one of the younger kids in the group. And yeah, it seems like he's having fun. I don't know. He hasn't called. We get texts every once in a while. But I'm sure he's having a blast, having a little more independence, being with the group of kids that most of them, like, he had a few friends that were going, but for the most part, he didn't know most of the people there. So it'll be good for him. hard for me, hard for Mom. But they have concerts. They've had like faculty concerts throughout the week that they've gone to, but then they'll have some student concerts starting tonight. So hopefully we'll be able to make it to that. And then Sunday we pick them up, and they have a big concert on Sunday with all the bigger groups, maybe some ensembles. I'm not sure what all. Who knows? It's our first year. We don't know what's going on. But yeah, it'll be good to have them home. I had my birthday this last week. Didn't do too much. We went out for ice cream, just the three of us, because not everybody was home. Once we're all here, we might go out to dinner and actually celebrate my birthday a little bit. That happens a lot. My husband travels a lot over my birthday, so it's like for work. So a lot of times it's like, don't celebrate on my birthday. I'm used to it. And then what else? We had some big storms in the area lately. There was some that we didn't get the actual storm, but areas around us got like giant hailstones that were like ping pong to baseball size in some areas that I saw pictures online. There was some funnel clouds in the area. I think there might have even been a tornado that touched down in a town not too far away from us. What day was, I don't remember what day we had the big storm, but it was a very windy, like 70-mile-an-hour winds. A giant branch that was like maybe that big around broke off of our back tree. That tree's pretty close to our house. It hit the roof, but luckily my husband went up there and looked. It didn't look like there was any damage on the roof. But when it slid down, it kind of bent our gutters a little bit. So we're going to have to see if we can bang those out or have to maybe replace them. But then it came straight down and hit our deck in the backyard, made a hole in the deck about that big from the impact, and then fell. Luckily it didn't fall. We have like a patio door right there. Luckily it didn't fall into the house. It fell over, and it didn't even damage. Like, we have a glass top table back there. It didn't damage that, didn't damage the grill. So it could have been a lot worse. But luckily my husband just bought a chainsaw, and so he and my daughter went out after that storm kind of wrapped up and made quick work of the tree branch. I mean, we have lots of wood chopped up around our house, but yeah, it could have been some areas. I think Shepherd, which is a town not too far away from us, I heard had like 8 inches of hail buildup. Like, I mean, it was a small hailstones, but 8 inches, that's like snow. I saw pictures, it looked crazy. So lots of crazy weather going on. And we don't get that crazy because usually, we're close enough to the mountains that the mountains eat up a lot of the energy of storms. So we usually don't get as super crazy weather. But yeah, it's been nuts. I think that's all the life stuff. Yeah, it's just been crazy. I hope you guys had a good 2 weeks. I hope to see you again in 2 weeks. Again, it's summertime. I don't know how everything is going to go with schedules and everything. We'll just have to see what happens. But I will see you again soon. Bye.